ready to go. A look at tonight's Gatorade starting lineups for the Indiana Pacers. Rick Smits is back as the starter. He was suspended the one game, and then Larry Bird decided to stay with Austin Crozier in the lineup in game number 4. Did not work out for the Pacers. Smits is back, and so is Cheryl Miller. Let's check in with Cheryl.
Thanks a lot, Marvel. George Karl, who is the master of motivation, put together a highlight reel, the 1994 playoff game between his former team, the Seattle Sonics, and the Denver Nuggets. Well, the Denver Nuggets went on to win a critical game 5 and become the first number 8 seed to beat a number 1 seed. He showed it to his team before the game, and his message was very simple. If it happened then, why not now? Why not us? Marv?
All right, Cheryl. George Karl also read passages from Pete Axthelm's terrific book from many years ago entitled The City Game to try and inspire his team in this 5th and deciding game. Darvin Ham is fouled. The officials, Joe Crawford, Steve Jabbie, and Ed F. Rush. So Ham, who is not a good free throw shooter, will go to the line. Foul committed by Smits.
Ham just 2 for 7 in the playoffs thus far, shooting 28%, but that one looks pretty good coming out of his hand.
Darvin Ham, though, has played well. Not a guy who will show up in the statistics, but keeps balls alive, hustles, block shots. Mark Jackson moves it across. Indiana Pacers hoping for some energy, something they did not see in game 4 in Milwaukee. They try to get Smits going early. Smits, well, he looked to go to his left, but Irvin Johnson was there and then went right.
Had nowhere to go. He knew the 3-second count was in effect right there. He had to get a shot up somehow, so he winds up coming back with his left hand.
Here's Ray Allen for 3.
Well, you can see Ray Allen's mentality. The last 2 games, Indiana has gone underneath pick and rolls with the defender on the ball. One thing you have to do is stop, pull up, and shoot jump shots. Move your screens down lower if you can. Make it a shorter shot than normal, and right now Ray Allen knocks the first one out.
And Ray Allen still bothered by that knee sprain that was suffered a couple of weeks back in Orlando. Dale Davis. So the game is tied at 4.
And something that Indiana has said for the last 2 days, we need some sort of inside presence. 1 basket by Smits, 1 basket by Davis inside the paint area.
In game 4 on Monday night, as Cassell is able to knock it down, Bucks beat the Pacers 100-87, led by as many as 31 as they did here in game 2. And the Bucks came out, hit 11 of their first 14 from the field. Reggie Miller, who got off quickly the other night in Milwaukee and then, for some reason, was out of the offense.
Well, he wound up hitting 4 out of his first 5 shots as Ham winds up taking the pass. A little late transition that time by Cassell. Get as deep as you can, explore the defense, see if there's anything there. He found his teammate for the dunk.
And Sam Cassell has been doing an excellent job as a setup guy. 13 assists the other night, 12 the previous game, 13 a playoff career high. Foul was called on Johnson.
He gets into the lane area, which is one of the keys for the Pacers. Keep him out of the lane, finds Ham. Ham finishes way above the rim.
In contrast to what we heard in Milwaukee with the crowd, as picks off the bad pass from Smith. Allen challenging Miller. Ray Allen off the steal, and the Bucks lead it 10-6. As I started to say, the crowd in Milwaukee was going at a fever pitch right from the start. They had a problem here in Indianapolis. The crowd level has not been what it was at the former arena, Market Square, and they're very quiet right now.
I want you to think about the 3 keys, Marv, as Reggie drives inside the lane, and this is the layup attempt. But it's counted. Joe Crawford calls goaltending. 3 keys for Indiana tonight. Stop Milwaukee transition, fast breaks, stop penetration off the dribble, and contest their perimeter shots. Well, already we've seen 2 of those be a problem. Transition, penetration.
Bucks with a 10-8 lead, and as Cassell puts the move on, a foul is called. Holding foul on Jackson. Indiana with their 2nd team foul. For the Milwaukee Bucks, their first deciding game 5 in 11 years. Pacers have played in the final game of a 5-game or 7-game series a total of 6 times. They're only 1-5 in that department. Jackson leaving it for Smits. So Rick Smits has tied it at 10.
That's huge for Indiana that Smits has gotten off to a pretty good start. He's hit a jumper from the perimeter. Now we'll see if they go back to their pick and roll game using Smits, but they'd like to step him back on the baseline for the jumpers.
Allen fortunate to get it over to Robinson, who was able to beat his man off the dribble.
Well, Dale Davis, you know, stood there. He's on the other side of the lane. It was too late for him to come across. It would have been another foul there inside, so he basically just gave that one up.
And the Pacers have come out and have hit all 5 of their shot attempts. That's the first miss. Here comes Cassell. Cassell reverses, but can't hit.
And you see Cassell probing. Get as much as you can, as deep as you can. Then if you don't like it, bring it back out.
Miller trying to rub off Allen, looking to draw the foul, but Allen stepped away. Cassell on the penetration. Sam Cassell had a couple of good opportunities. Here's Jackson for Miller. Yes, and it counts. The foul committed by Allen.
And you can see Cassell's disgusted with himself. He had 2 layup opportunities, and that one winds up being a 5-point swing potentially. No layup, leads to transition. Here comes Jackson, the late drop-off pass, and now Allen tries to get away from Miller, runs underneath him. Could be potentially a big 5-point swing here in the game.
Reggie Miller in game 4, 5 for 9, 15 points. Got off to the quick start, then just could not locate shots. He was out of the offense. As we discussed the other night, though, Rick Smits, by coming off the bench, may have disrupted the situation because Larry Bird looks to get him involved, and Reggie did not see the basketball. Here's Allen with that beautiful touch, so he has 7 points.
As you mentioned, going back to that game, there was uncertainty. Was he going to start, not start Smits in the game? And then when Smits came in, it was like everybody knew was supposed to try and get Rick involved. So everybody else stood around, and Rick couldn't get it going. It kind of disrupted everything offensively for the Pacers.
Jackson, Miller on the tip. Jackson try to save it. Last touch by hand. It will be Indiana ball.
Here are those big fellows for the Pacers. You got Reggie Miller and Mark Jackson crashing the offensive boards.
Pacers have the new 24. Miller wasting no time. Bucks with the ball and a 1-point lead. We played 5 minutes. Robinson. And George Karl has to be concerned. A number of layups missed here in the early going by his ball club.
Well, you take those 3 shots and you can figure out how they've been shooting 61% for the last 3 games in the first half, but they're not making them tonight, whereas they were all going in for them in the last 3 games.
Big dog Robinson blocked by Jalen Rose. And Robinson, who grew up in Gary, Indiana, a folk hero of the state of Indiana, starring at Gary Roosevelt High School and then at Purdue University. Timeout is called.
Can't think about that. We got a game 5 tonight, Cheryl. We're worrying about moving on, you know?
You spent your entire career here as a Pacer.
Mm-hmm.
If things, like you said, I know you don't want to talk about it, but do you think that this could be your last game as a Pacer?
I got a game 5 tonight, Cheryl. I'm worried about Ray Allen and pick and rolls. That's all I got on my mind. I'm not worried about where I'm going to be.
So I don't know that. I think that's unacceptable. Reggie a little bit on the testy side with sister Cheryl. Cheryl, I wouldn't accept that.
Marv, first of all I have to say is I know what I'm getting for Christmas this season, another pair of slippers because of that interview. Absolutely. He was testy on that.
Not looking to reveal information to sister Cheryl.
I kind of like his answer.
Yes, you would. Bucks up 14-13. Dale Davis has given the Pacers a 1-point lead. 6 minutes And 10 seconds remaining in this opening quarter. Cassell, played tightly by Jackson. Robinson with the shot clock running down. So this the 6th lead change of this first quarter, and Glenn Robinson continues to get off to good starts. He had 12 points first quarter the other night.
Nice job of execution that time by the Bucks. That was the third option. No high pick and roll for Allen. No baseline screen open. So he was screened down at the end, got Robinson open.
Mark Jackson unleashed the 3. We get a whistle. And the foul on Cassell. Call away from the ball. That's the first on Sam. And team foul number 3 called on Milwaukee. This has been a series of rough play, suspension, a couple of ejections. They've noticed the bandage over the eye of Ray Allen, took 4 stitches. Reggie Miller taking it to the rim. 9 points for Miller. Ray Allen left the game the other night in the third quarter after sustaining a gash over his right eye that required stitches, taking an elbow from Jalen Rose. Here's Allen wide open, not able to hit it from downtown. Davis from Rose and a foul.
And you see the ball going inside to Indiana, something that they want to establish. And believe me, at the other end of it, George Karl is telling his team one thing he does not want to give up is 3-point shots in this building. He said not only does it get the crowd totally involved, it pumps the team up. So he wants to stay at home with the perimeter people. So far, the big people inside are being able to take advantage of it. They're getting to the front of the rim. Now, if this keeps up, you're going to see Milwaukee have to come back, start doubling down, and that will open up the perimeter people.
Like Indiana 0 for 13 from the 3-point line on Monday night. This is a club that has hit at least 1 3-pointer every game of the season.
Highly unusual. Obviously one of the top 3-point shooting teams in the entire NBA. In fact, the number 1 3-point shoot, over 39% this year from the 3-point line for Indiana.
Pacers by 2 with just under 5 remaining in the first quarter. Robinson had it poked away by Rose. Talking with George Karl earlier today, he was looking for his club to come out loose. He wanted them not cocky, but confident. He said that's what you need to win on the road, particularly at a 5th of deciding game. Tim Thomas, who had just checked in, coughed it up. Miller met by Robinson. Deflected out by the Bucks.
The guy that was open was Dale Davis that time. As Reggie Miller got to the middle of the floor, it was Davis's defensive player that closed the lane down. The pass right back to the baseline would have had Davis wide open.
Shot clock at 6. Rose, Miller for 3. So that breaks the streak. The Indiana Pacers, after going 0 for 13 from downtown, get on the board with a 3-pointer. Glenn Robinson right back.
And you can hear the crowd, the way they responded. It's the one thing that Karl did not want to have happen was leave the people open at the 3-point line. They got it. Here's the play they went back to in game number 3. A little 1-2, point guard, 2-guard, pick and roll. Trying to force the switch. If Miller shoots over the top of Cassell, one thing, or else he can go back to Jackson.
Reggie Miller has opened up on fire. He has 12 points. Cassell, 21-20. Pacers by 1.
The one thing about this Bucks team, they have guys who can make shots, and when they all are making them at the same time, as Indiana found out in games 2 and 4, a very, very difficult team to beat. You're always trying to catch up. They keep coming at you. Just when you get something going, they answer it with a basket.
Spence. Miller for 3. Jackson trying to keep it alive. One down by Cassell, and a foul. Contact made by Smits. So for Rick Smits, it is his second.
Yeah, that's one that Larry Bird would rather not have him pick up right there. Smith goes to the bench, and Austin Crozier enters it in.
Austin Crozier, who started the last 2 games. He was in the starting lineup when Smith was suspended the 1 game. Here's Johnson, nicely done, set up by Cassell. Irvin Johnson with his first field goal, 6-0 run for the Bucks. And already that's assist number 4 for Cassell. It's Milwaukee by 1. Cassell pushing it down as the Pacers get back. Reaching foul charge to Jackson. Travis Best has checked in for the first time, replacing Mark Jackson. So Best and Miller at the guards. Crozier with Davis and Rose up front, and Reggie Miller got the step.
And you could see Ray Allen look to his teammates, wondering who's supposed to be there. I'm forcing him one way off the dribble. He gets a good, quick first step, goes by me, but somebody's got to cover for me. Where's the rotation?
Miller has opened up with 15 points. Thomas, Johnson, Irvin Johnson. Good setup from Tim Thomas.
You associate dribble penetration with guards. That time, Tim Thomas at 6'10" winds up penetrating, kicking off for the layup.
So the Bucks have a 3-point lead. And the foul away from the ball. It's on Robinson, a second.
Allen expects someone to be there on the baseline, a quick first step. Reggie too quick, there to the rim before anybody can rotate, getting to him. And Irvin Johnson on the weak side realizes that's me that's supposed to be there protecting the rim. Feels bad, but too late.
Jalen Rose at the line. Robinson and Cassell sit down. Darvin Ham is back. Vinny Del Negro checks in for the first time. Vinny Del Negro, a factor off the bench. Had some good efforts along with Scott Williams and Tim Thomas.
Last time we were here, Vinny Del Negro, first 5 shots, makes all 5.
I was back in game 2 as the Bucks beat the Pacers here at Conseco. Their first playoff victory in 10 years. The last one previous had been against Chicago, May of '90, and it was their first road playoff win since May of '89 against the Atlanta Hawks.
Nice switch defensively, guard that time, switch, and then Crozier stepping up, takes away the front of the rim.
Derek McKee on the floor for the first time. Coming up on 1 minute remaining. In this first quarter, Bucks with the basketball, and they lead by 1. Marv Albert with the czar, Mike Fratello, Cheryl Miller from Indianapolis. The winner goes on to face the Philadelphia 76ers in the second round. What a move by Tim Thomas.
A little hop step in there, split the baseline rotation, allowed Tim to get to the front of the rim.
So the Bucks lead by 3. Shot clock at 6. Miller on the pull-up. Half minute remaining, first quarter. Allen putting moves on Miller. Close the baseline. Del Negro eluding Best. Yes, Vinny Del Negro. 5-point lead for the Bucks with down to 20 seconds to go in the quarter. Crowd trying to get the Pacers going. Down to 10 seconds. Best setting it up. Best beating Del Negro. The tip was missed, and time runs out. But the Milwaukee Bucks continue to play with a great deal of confidence.
Well, I'm not sure how Indiana should feel. They're down 5, but when you go back to game 2, they were down 16. In game number 3, down only 3. In game 4, down 12 at the end of the first quarter. So they're right there if you look at it.
But they're the number 1 seed in the East against the number 8
They're trying to survive tonight.
Oh. For the Milwaukee Bucks, a familiar script. They go 13 of 20 from the field. They continue the sizzling shooting. They lead by 5 as we head to the second, but Reggie Miller has done his part. Big first quarter, 6 of 10, 14 points.
We associate Reggie Miller in the 3-point line, but he starts out the game going to the basket, gets fouled, and goes to the line. Again, taking it to the hole, converting for a 2, but so we don't forget about him. He does get behind the three-point line to knock one down. 6 for 10, 14 points, 10 attempts already in the first quarter. Remember, last game, Reggie Miller only had 9 shots for the entire game after having 27 field goal attempts in game number 3.
As the second quarter gets underway, Jalen Rose tries to squeeze his way through a triple team. End result, a turnover. Milwaukee in possession. Thomas over McKee. Tim Thomas continues to show the touch, and the Bucks lead by 7. Sam Perkins has come on for the first time, so Perkins, Rose, McKee, Crozier, and Best on the floor. Here's Travis Best. Rebound Thomas.
Now, Thomas is a tough guard. He really is. You saw it early on when he came in the game. He went by McKee, dropped it off for a layup to his teammate. That time, McKee gives him a half a step off, shoots the jumper in his face.
Thomas again with the pullback. Yes!
And that time he wanted to show us that he could dribble it and pull up his shoot. He's giving us a little bit of everything right now.
Tim Thomas has had a sensational series against the Pacers. 8-0 run for Milwaukee, all by the bench. Perkins for 3. Got the roll.
Well, they need somebody to come out and give them a lift off this Pacer bench, and maybe it's Perkins who can get back there behind the three-point line, spread him out a little bit. That'll open some things up for his teammates down low, hopefully.
Fernandez had a very quiet series. Has not been getting the minutes. Del Negro with the step. Del Negro. The extraordinary Buck shooting continues, in particular by the bench players. I think Vinny Del Negro likes the rims here.
He likes something about this city, the way he's been shooting it.
2 minutes gone by in the second quarter. Bucks have an 8-point advantage. Shot clock at 5. Crozier, Perkins for 3. And Thomas is on it. George Carlin has Del Negro and Allen at the guards with Johnson, Ham, and Thomas up front.
George Carl had a kind of interesting description of his team as Del Negro penetrates over to Gordon Ham, who goes to the basket and was fouled. Described this team as not necessarily a fast-breaking team, but we're a quick shot team, he said. So the coaches would agree with me on this, but it's great to have all these game 5s, isn't it?
It's a terrific run over this 24-hour period, and Sam Cassell continues the terrific shooting for the Bucks. Milwaukee has hit 7 of its last 8 from the field, and now lead by 10. Perkins draws the double. Crowd beginning to, you can hear, as McKee is able to hit on the scoop, you can hear the murmuring, like, what's going on here?
Well, they saw the shot clock coming down. It was like a little inside, little outside, little inside passing taking place, and the crowd suddenly is going, gang, we need to get something going here.
Del Negro. Ham with the hustle and the save. Well, they get the new shot clock. Thomas going at Perkins. Tim Thomas. Nice touch by Ham. Scott Williams has checked in for the first time. What a series it's been for Scott Williams. In game 2, he was 7 of 11 for 15 points. And he said, you know, that's the best I've played. And then in game 4, Milwaukee the other night, 9 for 13. 20 points, 8 rebounds, and he surpassed what he did here in game 2.
Well, we kind of teased him after game 2. We asked if he had turned into strictly a jump shooter, and he comes back and has a tremendous game in game 4.
Austin Crozier bringing the Pacers within 6, and the crowd getting back into it. 4 minutes gone by in the second quarter. Robinson, Williams back out with Big Dog Robinson. Rose is trying to draw the foul. Here comes Best. Rose put it behind the back.
Well, something had to get the crowd going. Jalen Rose with the terrific move in transition, and George Karl doesn't want the crowd to get too much into the game. Indiana's catching them at some time right now.
And the Bucks not only shooting well, they have turned it over just once thus far. Coming up on 7 minutes remaining in this first half. Reggie Miller back on the floor. Here's Crozier. Rebounded by Williams.
Not the best shot there, not the highest percentage shot. Crozier rushed it a little bit that time. They could have gotten a better, higher percentage shot.
Travis Best looking to set it up. Best and Miller in the backcourt. Crozier with Perkins and Rose on the front line. And again, Crozier coming up short.
And you can see Larry Bird turn and discuss. You have a 6'10 player being played by a guard. Take your time, get him down low enough to where they either commit to a double team or you overpower the guy. Instead, you wind up falling away. You make yourself really a smaller player with the fadeaway.
Miller wrestling for position with Cassell, and a foul on Cassell. Miller was able to get the step. That's the second committed by Sam Cassell.
A little screen, a switch, and now watch as Reggie Miller catches Cassell on his back. They'll go back to the top of the circle. Cassell on his back. Miller's fouled.
Ray Allen back on the floor, coming out for Vinny Del Negro. Shot clock at 5. Best unleashing. Crozier not able to handle. Robinson does.
Crozier had it in his hands that time. Only one hand on the ball. Dropped it. As a result, Milwaukee comes up with it.
Bucks with the ball and a 4-point lead. Robinson. And both clubs in the midst of a drought.
That's a mini shooting slump. You miss like 2 or 3 shots. It's a slump.
Crozier being played by Thomas. And Crozier missing his last 3. Cassell. Cut off by Best. And the offensive foul is drawn by Miller.
A nice job that time by Reggie of acting as Robinson spun into him. Obviously, Robinson bigger, stronger. Reggie knows he's in trouble, so instead he tries it. Here's the little lean in. Oh, the flop by Reggie gets the call.
And a pivotal foul. It's number 3 on Robinson. He'll sit down. Ham returns. Dale Davis is back for the Pacers. Bucks are now scoreless over the last 4 minutes. Most unusual for the Bucks this series. Rose. Joe Crawford.
I think he's going to get it. Yeah, he gets the offensive foul the other way.
Joe wanted to take a long look.
He was checking across the floor with his partner on the floor, making sure they both had the same call before he went ahead and gave the signal.
Jalen Rose called for his second. The Milwaukee Bucks trying to become only the 3rd number 8 seed to upset a number 1 since the playoffs expanded to 16 teams back in 1984. Thomas has gone cold. Denver did it to Seattle in 1994. Knicks beat the Heat last year, both winning on the road. Here comes Cassell. Cassell. That was not the shot that George Karl had in mind. And a foul. Foul on Thomas. And the Bucks, who began the game 16 for 23 and now 1 for their last 12.
You're right. It wasn't the shot that George wanted. It wasn't really the shot that Cassell wanted either. I think he was hoping to get the defensive player up in the air, step underneath him. He lands on and get to the foul line. It didn't happen.
Best not able to hit the 3. 4 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in the first half.
After this little stretch of misses, you have both teams down in the 40% area shooting the basketball.
Milwaukee with a 4-point lead. These two clubs have been stuck on 38-34. Allen over Best. And here comes Best. Ripping by a couple of Bucks. Setting it up for Miller. And a foul. Committed by Thomas. That's his second. "20-second timeout is called by Larry Bird.
You're seeing more transition opportunities right now because of the missed shots by Milwaukee and doing a decent job rebounding the basketball. Indiana has been out, able to capitalize on a couple of these transition opportunities.
Welcome back to Indianapolis, Indiana. The Bucks with a 4-point lead on the Pacers. NBA Commissioner David Stern touring the playoffs, receiving the extensive tour of Conseco Fieldhouse. This is his first visit, we're told. I thought the food sampling by the commissioner did get out of hand.
Yes, he had a trader following around as well.
And the senior vice president of operations, Rod Thorne, which means no funny stuff out there on the course tonight.
Sergeant of law enforcement for the NBA.
And this has been a physical series. Rick Smith's suspended, couple of ejections. Quiet to this point tonight. Bucks up by 2. Both clubs having their shooting difficulties in the second quarter. The foul is called on Best. Finally, we have some points on the board. They went 3 minutes and 38 seconds without a score, and Milwaukee is 1 for its last 13 after once again getting off to the good start.
We saw a little cross match that time by Indiana. They had put Travis Best on Ray Allen and put Reggie Miller on the ball against Sam Cassell. So Milwaukee just sent Allen immediately down to the low box, and Best was explaining that he's just trying to challenge the shot, and the official Ed Rush telling him, you can challenge, but when your body is crashing into his body, that's a foul.
Well, Ray Allen stops an 8-0 run by Indiana. 40-36, Milwaukee. Miller cutting, trying to lose Allen. He did off the screen. Beautifully done.
Took him down off the high screen and turned right around and came back off the screen again.
Meanwhile, the Bucks come right back. Williams with the bucket and the foul. Scott Williams beating the Pacers on the transition.
Well, Indiana makes a basket, and as soon as Miller winds up hitting the jump shot, coming off the screen, comes right back off of Smits again. And Scott Williams, who's under the basket, if you keep an eye, here's Williams right there, taking off, running down the floor. Dale Davis a little bit behind, ball advanced, quick score.
And Scott Williams able to hit the free throw. Derek McKee was called for the foul. Thomas on the rebound, and McKee on a reach-in. McKee committing his second. The ball back to the Bucks. Milwaukee was 19-22 on the road this season, their best road record in over a decade. That includes a huge win in Orlando as they were battling out for that final playoff spot. So they've been a pretty decent road club. Cassell, giving it to Williams. Shot clock running down. Irvin Johnson. Shot clock down to 1. Oh, Tim Thomas able to hit.
Nobody stepping in front of the driving Tim Thomas. He was on the move. I mean, he's not going to pull up the way he was going and shoot a quick jumper, get over there in front of him, take the offensive foul.
8 points, 7 rebounds for Thomas. And the foul is called on Allen, his second.
With the shot clock running down, the ball in the hands of Tim Thomas. There's Smits, there's Davis. Neither one takes away the driving lane and the conversion for Thomas.
Reggie Miller back to the line. He's 3 for 3 from the line. A 92% foul shooter. Second to Jeff Hornacek. Jeff Hornacek had one of those seasons at the line where you could actually remember every miss he had. There were so few.
Similar to my career.
Yes. We're going to get to that a little bit later on. Actually, going to be doing a sermonette in the early morning hours. 2.5 remaining in this first half. Bucks with a 45-39 lead. Ray Allen firing one up. Irvin Johnson able to keep it alive. Here's Allen with the shot clock running down, getting it off. That's the foul on the Pacers. Irvin Johnson continues to play so well. George Karl had Irvin Johnson with Seattle. Davis called for the foul. And there was a time where Irvin Johnson was very upset with George Karl. We can understand from Karl's point of view. Made the move that he had to. He benched him during the finals against the Chicago Bulls. Now, all George does is praise the play of Irvin Johnson. Not a guy who needs shots, but keeps the ball alive, gets rebounds, block shots.
He said back then he was a young athlete. He said now he's a pro. He said he gets so much more respect now from the officials. Early on, he would get silly fouls called on him, and he said it's just a matter of maturity and understanding and growing as a player, and you can count on him to do the things you needed to do. Rebound, block shots.
Derek McKee. So the Bucks now lead 47-41. Delay of game warning. Ball was knocked away by the Pacers to prevent the Bucks from racing down.
Well, it's one of the things that Milwaukee have been talking about in previous games, that Indiana gets away with touching the ball or knocking the ball away after they scored. That cuts out the quick basket like we saw Scott Williams get a few moments ago.
And deflected out of bounds by Best. 10 on the shot clock, a minute 45 remaining in the first half. Fifth and final game of this first round playoff series. The winner advances to face the Philadelphia 76ers. Allen stripped. And last touch by Allen.
And you can see why Larry Bird has put Travis Best on Ray Allen. Allen quick off the dribble, and Best not going underneath screens. He's getting over the top of screens, cutting down his dribble penetration. That's the way they want to play it with Allen if they can.
Ray Allen hit his first 3 shots. He's missed his last 5. Shot clock at 5. Best nowhere to go, and somehow found McKee. Davis on the putback.
Well, they could not afford to have that layup roll off the front of a nice follow-up by McKee. Davis, rather, I should say. Follow-up.
All right, the Bucks have a 47-43 lead. Just under 1 minute left in the first half. And the crowd back to life. Cassell able to recover, lost it. Crozier starts back. Miller. Crozier is fouled. Crozier an 85% free throw shooter. And with the rebound, 40 seconds left in the half. The Bucks opened up with outstanding shooting once again, and then cooled off. And Ray Allen has gone cold. Foul is called on Ham. Both clubs are over the limit. 26 and 9/10 seconds to go in this first half. And the Pacers back at the line. This time it'll be Derek McKee.
And this will be McKee's first attempt from the foul line in the playoffs this far.
Derek, a 77% free throw shooter during the regular season. Benny Del Negro checking back in, replacing Irvin Johnson. George Karl looking for some last-second shooting possibilities.
Has his 4 shooters on the floor. Ham, the rebounder, designated rebounder inside.
Milwaukee has a 2-point lead. The Bucks by 1. Miller up tight on Cassell. They're on their feet at Conseco Fieldhouse. 15 seconds to the half. 2-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. 5 on the 24. Cassell going glass. 1 and 9/10 seconds to go in the half. It'll be Indiana ball. Miller will throw in. This intended for Crozier. Nice catch. Here's the shot. Well, the Pacers close with a 7-0 run the last 2 minutes, 15 seconds of this first half. And as we head to the halftime break, it's the Bucks 47 and the Pacers 46. Milwaukee opened up again with red-hot shooting. However, they have gone cold. 1 for the last 19 from the field, while Indiana has come on, led by Reggie Miller. They recall prior to Game 3, the game that saw Reggie break out with 34 points. He wore that Superman T-shirt in the warm-ups. Well, he did not do it tonight. However, just moments ago as he was getting ready for the second half, there it is. The Superman T-shirt is back.
Well, perhaps he felt that what he had accomplished in the first half warranted him going back in, whipping out the T-shirt from his locker, and he got himself going tonight by putting the ball on the floor and going to the basket strong early on. Then came on and hit a few of his jump shots and wound up with a 19-point half. On the other end of the floor, Tim Thomas off the bench winds up splitting the double team, and then he too shows us a little foot fake, one dribble, and then I can pull up and hit jump shots just like Reggie. Tim Thomas, 4 for 9, 8 points in the first half.
Mark Jackson, Reggie Miller in the backcourt. Rick Smits up front with Dale Davis and Jalen Rose. On the deflection, Robinson is up with it. And Robinson playing with 3 fouls. Robinson the Indiana Pacers closed out the second quarter with a lot of energy. This crowd was into it, but once again, things are quiet as the third quarter gets started. That was last touch by Ham.
Sending Mark Jackson down in the post. Very familiar there last year in the playoffs. It was a bread and butter play for them. Hopefully getting the double team, then open up Smits or Miller on the outside.
Smits able to hustle it down as Ham and Davis came together, and fouls are called.
Double foul. You'll see the power forwards hook up. Watch Davis's arms with Ham. Both get tied up. The official, Ed Rush, calls a double foul.
So that will lead to a jump ball at center court. Dale Davis upset. He felt that Ham had committed the foul. But the Pacers do control. Backing Cassell. Davis on the recovery. Pops it out. Miller. Trying to shut off Allen. Here's Jackson. Yes. It's a 3 from Mark Jackson, who has been very quiet.
It's interesting when the Indiana big men come up with a second shot opportunity, they immediately look to the three-point line. They've scored so many baskets by offensive rebounding and throwing it back out to either Reggie Miller, Rick Smith, or Mark Jackson for a second shot opportunity.
Robinson, he's been off. The game is tied at 49. 2 minutes gone by in the third. Open shot for Smith. He's had a number of open shot opportunities. Loose ball foul on the Bucks.
And that's the play we were talking about before. It was on the left side of the floor. This time in transition, Mark Jackson takes the ball down to the low right box. Smits immediately goes to the high post area in a straight line. So if his man double teams, he's getting the jumper. If they rotate to Rick, you've got Reggie Miller to his left.
Smits passing on the shot. Miller. Yes. The Pacers with a 51-49 lead. A telling point for the Bucks, who were getting the good ball movement in Game 4. They had only 1 assist in the second quarter.
Well, this team had been, and we have a foul call, a hold, Joe Crawford making the call. This team has had very high assist numbers. I mean, they've been up over, they've averaged, 16 assists for the last 3 games at halftime. The fact that they're only at 8 this half tells you a little bit of what's going on.
Foul on Davis's third. Cassell on a quick release. Sam Cassell has tied the game at 51. He has 12 points. Milwaukee with 42 field goals in Game 4 in the victory at home against Indiana. They have 31 assists on those 42 field goals. Foul is called on the Pacers, a loose ball foul. It's on Miller. That's his first.
One thing that's deceiving about assists is that when you have a team who can create its own shots, they put the ball on the floor and make baskets that way. Ray Allen can create. Sam Cassell can create. We saw Tim Thomas create. Brent Robinson can create. So then you don't get an assist. Even though they're shooting well, they're doing it on their own.
So that's a particularly high number for a team like Milwaukee.
Sure, and that's why George Karl mentioned trust the pass. He wants to see some ball movement. Dribble penetration, kick out to Cassell, pass, shot, score. Trust the pass.
And Sam Cassell has hit 3 for 3 in the fourth quarter. The Bucks 53, the Pacers 51. Jalen Rose. He's been very quiet. 6 points for Rose. Indiana and Milwaukee tied at 53. Ray Allen rejected by Dale Davis. Rose changed his mind and turns it over.
I think all his teammates felt that he was going to go up with that. And the big defensive play by Davis to save the potential hoop inside. Dale Davis with the block, and that gets the Pacers off running to the other end of the floor.
Kind of defense from the crowd here at Conseco Fieldhouse. Cassell, Sam Cassell catching fire, now has 16 points. So the Bucks lead by 2.
In the first quarter, with primarily Mark Jackson guarding Cassell, he was 2 for 4 from the floor and also had 4 assists. Travis Best came on and switched off on him when he entered the game to cool down Cassell a little bit.
There's Allen. So the 2 hot men now are Cassell for the Bucks and Rose for the Pacers. Miller from way downtown. Trying to draw the foul. Did that little back kick on Ray Allen. And now the foul is called. And Reggie Miller picks it up for the push. That's his second. Bucks with their starting unit on the floor. Robinson, Johnson, and Ham on the front line. Cassell and Allen in the backcourt. And Robinson is struggling. It's saved by Ham.
See, Dale Davis never turned and put a body on Ham. And you give him a flying start in front of the rim, he really rises up.
Robinson splitting the double team. Big dog Glenn Robinson with 8 points. The Bucks recapture the lead. They're up by 2. Fifth and deciding game. They're tied at 2. The winner goes on to face the Philadelphia 76ers. Rick Smits ties it for the Pacers.
A little curl action that time by Rose. When he curls and the big man helps out, Smits steps back for the jumper.
Well, Cassell finally missed the shot and a foul on Smits. Rick Smits with the push out. Timeout has been called. 6:38 remaining in this third quarter. They've changed the foul. It's not Smits, it's Miller. That's 3 on Miller. We'll be right back.
We'll go back a few moments ago to show you how a teammate can give himself up to help another teammate out. As Rick Smits comes down and sets the screen, Rose will run a curl over the top. He gets Smits' defensive player to help out. After the screen, Smits steps back for the open shot. So we're saying that Rose, by curling here, gets Johnson to commit. Smits steps back. Nobody gets there in time on the jumper.
It is Milwaukee ball as we resume. The game is tied at 57 with 6.5 left in the third quarter. Ham set the pick. Better try to draw the foul. Pass rescued by Ham. Shot clock down to 5. Here's Allen with a floater. Ham trying to keep it alive. Jackson has it knocked away by Ham. Recovered by Miller. Davis is fouled. Held by Cassell. Well, Davis did not like being handcuffed. They recall that Sam Cassell and Dale Davis had some words a couple of games back. Both were ejected, picking up second technical fouls, but no damage there as Davis goes to the line. He's 1 of 2 at the line. A reminder, tomorrow night here on TNT, a doubleheader beginning at 8 o'clock Eastern time. In the first game, the Sonics and the Jazz, game 5 of their series, 5th and deciding game, followed by game 5 between the Kings and the Lakers from Staples Center in Los Angeles. So 2 showdown games tomorrow night here on TNT. What a stretch, beginning with the Bucks and the Pacers here tonight. Pacers now lead 58-57.
Well, I know that Indiana has been in a number of big games over the last couple of years because it seems that they're a little tight the way they're playing tonight. It's almost as if they're saying we're the #1 seed and we just can't afford to lose the game.
Sam Cassell has given the Bucks a 1-point lead. I look at the Pacers, and right from the start, there seemed to be the same lack of energy that Larry Bird has been concerned about. You may recall, right before the series got underway, as Davis was able to stop, he was unhappy with the way his team was practicing. As we mentioned at the start, he lashed out at Jalen Rose after the loss in Game 4. Reggie Miller was upset with the play of Rick Smith, upset with the bench. Robinson with the air ball. Pacers appear to be putting something together here, up by 1 as we approach 5 minutes remaining in the third quarter.
A good no call by Eddie Rush. Mark Jackson fumbled the ball. You can always pick up a fumble pass. He just was not allowed to dribble it again.
And Jalen Rose has relocated the touch. Started slowly, was not in the offense early, but he's come on. He has 10 points.
Indiana scores this possession. George Karl will take a timeout.
Allen, yes, Ray Allen, who had missed 9 straight shots.
Well, he doesn't have to use that timeout. He got the basket he needed right there to quiet the crowd down. But if they would have missed and Indiana came down and scored, you would have seen the next timeout.
Foul committed by Cassell, did not like the call. Steve Javie did not like the reaction from Sam Cassell.
You know that Jackson loves to go down into the post. Cassell trying to meet him earlier and trying to get him off the low block area. The foul is called with the body contact by Cassell. Cassell's point is, look, he's trying to establish low post position. I don't have to give it to him. I'm entitled to get there. If he gets there first, then it's his spot. If Jackson gets there first, you can't reroute him and knock him off the spot.
Now Travis Best has come on for Mark Jackson. Foul is called. Foul away from the ball. It's on Irvin Johnson, his second. Bucks with their 4th team foul. Pacers also have 4. Smiths. Jalen Rose setting it against Tim Thomas, who just checked in. Here's Best. And knocked out of bounds by Robinson.
It's amazing. Dale Davis, just a couple of buckets inside. He's much more active now on the glass, getting his hands on things, sweeping the defensive boards.
Rose, yes. Well, Jalen Rose, who was the focal point of criticism from his coach, Larry Bird, is taken over in this third quarter. He's hit his last 4 shots. Indiana by 3. Cassell coming up short.
It's almost as if Sam Cassell was trying to prove a point. I've got a much taller defender on me. I'm going to show you I still can get it over the top of him and make a shot. He wound up taking a bad shot.
Davis trying to shake off Thomas. It was deflected out by Thomas.
Turning and going baseline when there is no baseline there. That's a problem.
Shot clock at 12. Travis Best 0 for 5 from the field. Not able to get going to this point. Best getting it going. And the foul. Nice pass from Rick Smith. Beautiful pass from Rick Smith to set it up for the layup for Best.
And I'm sure George Karl in that timeout urged his team, you've got to hold on right now. You've got to execute. You cannot let them pull away little by little. The crowd will start to get into it even more. And as we know, when this team starts shooting threes and there, Tim Thomas quiets it down right there. If Indiana starts making threes, you can be in a lot of trouble.
What a beautiful spin move by Thomas. He now has 10. Pacers by 4. Coming up on 3 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Rose had it knocked away, recovered by Smith with 1 on the 24. Reggie Miller tried to fire one, but it's a violation. 24-second violation on the Pacers.
You go back about 5 or 6 seconds prior to that. It all started out with the mishandling of the pass, and suddenly you're scrambling to try and get a shot up with the 24-second clock running down.
Thomas played by Davis. Pacers have Best and Miller in the backcourt, although Jalen Rose is handling the ball to set it up for Miller. So Jalen at the point forward. Miller wanted the foul call. Reggie with 23. The Pacers 69. The Bucks 63.
That was a nice job of Reggie freeing himself up. That's one of the easiest looks that he's had thus far because he ran a nice cut coming off the screen.
Foul is called on Indiana.
You got to work hard down the low post area, use your big man, and right here Allen gets caught behind Smits. He was going to follow and go through. Instead, it's way too late when you're following Miller off those screens to give that much room.
Another call for the foul is fourth. Both clubs are over the limit. And the Bucks to the line for the first time this third quarter. Derek McKee checking back in. Austin Crozier has also come on. Big dog Glenn Robinson looking for his 10th point. So the Pacers now lead 69-65 with 2:15 remaining in the third. Smits. Here comes Cassell pushing it down. Robinson going baseline and pops it out. In the collision with Smits, and the foul on Smits. It's a blocking foul.
I'm not sure if did he call that on Smits or did he give it to Best that time. As the recovery takes place right there, Smits seems to be there with his feet set. Best running alongside of him.
He did say Best. So it is Travis Best. Ray Allen 2 for 2 at the line. Reminder Saturday on NBC, the 76ers awaiting the winner of tonight's game between the Bucks and the Pacers. Coverage begins 3 o'clock Eastern time with NBA Showtime. That'll be Saturday. The Philadelphia 76ers waiting for the winner between Milwaukee and Indiana. Sixers wrapping the series against Charlotte on Monday night. Here's Rose getting the step and foul. Hammered from behind by Urban Johnson.
Johnson not going to give up the layup. Right now you have Jalen Rose playing in the 2-guard position, so Indiana goes back to the play they must have used 15 to 20 times in their big win in Milwaukee in Game 3. A 1-2 side pick and roll. One-man point guard coming from the top. 2 guards setting the screen, just foul line extended, hoping for the switch, and then trying to play off the mismatch.
Jalen Rose, originally a first-round draft pick of Denver, spent 2 years with the Nuggets. This is 4th season with the Pacers. Last year averaged 11 per game. This season a career year for Jalen. 18 per game, led the Pacers in scoring. Indiana up 71-67. Vinny Del Negro back down the floor. Del Negro and Allen at the guard. Scott Williams up front now with Tim Thomas and Robinson. Scott Williams lost it, but it was deflected out by Best.
It's interesting when you come in and get 20 points off the bench one game, they get a little more attention paid to you the next time out.
Yes, you get the idea that Sam Perkins is taking Scott Williams very seriously from the defensive point of view. Tim Thomas with 1 on the shot clock. 71-69 Indiana, and another sparkling performance by Thomas. Best not hitting the outside shot. Travis Best now 1 for 7 from the field. Allen off the dribble, sets it up for Williams, and he is crunched. Scott Williams will go to the foul line. Foul committed by McKee. Indiana Pacers, including the playoffs, with a record of 37-6 at home, but 2 of those losses to Milwaukee, and both lopsided. Here's a look at tonight's American Express leaderboard. Reggie Miller, the high point man with 23. In the assist column, Mark Jackson leading the way with 8. And Dale Davis with 8 rebounds. The Bucks now 13 of 15 at the foul line. They're within 1.
Williams is 73% free-throw shooter during the regular season. Takes the 1 out of the 2.
Perkins had a notion, but Scott Williams moving up on him.
Almost as if Scott suddenly clicked in and said, wait a minute, it's Perkins. He shoots threes. I better get out there.
This time he got it off. Half-minute left in the third quarter. So the Bucks able to hang in. Indiana with that 13-4 run. Put some daylight between themselves and the Bucks, but Milwaukee has come right back. Shot clock is down to 5. Allen. Ham had it knocked out away and knocked out of bounds with 1 on the 24. 9 and 5/10 seconds to go in the third quarter.
You're looking for some kind of back pick here or fake the back pick and a quick screen catch. It has to be a catch shot quickly here from Milwaukee.
All right, here's the catch and the shot. Rebounded by Rose. Checks the clock. Has to hurry. Final seconds. Best. Does he get it off in time? No, says Steve Jalen. As it turned out, did not matter because he did not hit, and that is the end of the third. So the season on the line as we head to the fourth quarter here at Conseco Fieldhouse in Indianapolis. The Pacers clinging to a 1-point lead. The winner advances to the second round.
Milwaukee out there with 11. Indiana picking up finally some points in transition this game. Shooting basically even, and because Indiana has come on and made some shots here now, you can see that they have 20 assists, which is a good number, and again, advantage bench Milwaukee.
All right, there is the president of the Milwaukee Bucks, Herb Kohl, a state senator in Wisconsin. 15th season as president, owner of the Milwaukee Bucks. Fourth quarter is underway. Scott Williams. Well, Scott still has the touch, has not had as many opportunities tonight, as you mentioned earlier. They are respecting the outside shot. Bucks have taken a 1-point lead.
But again, that was Tim Thomas creating a shot for his teammate by beating his defender off the dribble from the top of the circle.
Ball deflected out by Darvin Ham. Milwaukee Bucks went 42 and 40 in the regular season. And there's Ernie Grunfeld, general manager of the Bucks. They finished in the number 8 seed. They went through that down period, but bounced back, finished strong on the last 3, 11 of the last 15 games. Jalen Rose coming up with air, and it's a 24-second violation of the basket. Will not count. And the Bucks, one of the surprise teams in this first round of the playoffs. Unbelievable that on 2 occasions, in Game 2 and then in Game 4, they led the Pacers by as many as 31 points.
31 points against the number 1 seed.
Indiana, in the top spot of the East at 56 and 26 during the season. Ray Allen drills the 3, and the Bucks are up 75-71.
That was a really nice play that time by Milwaukee. They ran a little pick and roll just to suck in the offside defender. Wound up getting on the shot by screening in on the weak side.
Perkins for 3. Allen pops it down to Ham, and he wisely pulls it back. Bucks continue to play with such poise. They're in the midst of a 12-2 run. A minute and a half gone by in the fourth. Del Negro. Ham with the rebound. And tied up by Crozier.
If you don't put a body on Ham, he gets a running start. He just goes over the top of everybody and somehow comes up with the ball, and he's so strong, he pulls it away from you in the end.
Darvin Ham is one of the outstanding leapers in the NBA. Did take part in the slam dunk contest All-Star Weekend back in 1997. Best off the tip. Best takes the distance.
Well, you want to form a cup. Put 2 of your players together and tip the ball in between your 2 teammates. That time, the ball was tipped a little bit too deep. Best guessed right, winds up with the layup.
Scott Williams lost the dribble. Thomas on the recovery, backs it up. Shot clock at 3, out of 2, and a foul.
And since the timeout that George Karl took a while ago when Indiana was up, they have come back, great composure, executed, got their defensive stops, rebounded the basketball, and then, in large part, thanks to this gentleman, Tim Thomas, have come back here now to take the lead.
So Tim Thomas with 14 points off the bench. The Bucks lead by 4. We are early fourth quarter. Rose being played by Thomas. Rose forced it up, thought he was fouled.
Well, he switched hands, made it a difficult shot there, trying to draw the foul. Nothing's there, kick it out to a teammate, spotting up opposite. You know, this crowd is sitting here as if they're saying, we want somebody to get us excited, and the team is kind of hoping that they help get the team excited with their enthusiasm.
And Cassell called for time as he was trapped along the baseline.
But after the last game and the performance that we've had, I honestly believe we have enough weapons to beat this team. I've got to get them to believe it.
Ham with the uncontested rebound and slam. As George told us earlier, he was going to tell his team, I now feel that you're good enough to beat the Pacers. He did not feel that way prior to the start of the series. 79-73, Milwaukee. Miller. Yes. The Bucks by 4. Miller has 25. Cassell and Del Negro in the backcourt. Oh, bad pass.
Still plenty of time left with 8.5 minutes, but Larry Bird's going to be facing a decision here. Do I stay with what's my better defensive team, or do I come back and put Smits back on the floor again and look to score points? Offense. Remember, it was Dale Davis and Smits in there, and they took the lead.
Reggie Miller for 3 to bring the Pacers within 1. Thomas. Tim Thomas. 16 for Thomas.
Thomas has answered every time they needed something to happen. He's either hit the shot, got to the foul line, or kicked it off to a teammate for a score.
Miller met by the double. Rose.
In and out. It was there. Nice ball reversal. Watch them start to double team, and here comes Scott Williams in transition, running the floor hard. I was just starting to say, watch Milwaukee go start to double team Miller. It's one of the things George Karl told us. If he gets going, we're going to get the ball out of his hands.
And a good look from Cassell. Robinson and Allen getting set to check back in. Miller for 3. Indiana with the new 24. Best hesitant, not shooting well. Takes it off the dribble. McHugh with the rebound. The Bucks 83 and the Pacers 80. As we come up on 7 minutes remaining in the fourth. Williams setting the pick and a foul. He was pushed by Perkins. The Bucks with an 83-80 lead on the Pacers. Just under 7 remaining in the fourth quarter. Back comes Best. Miller and Best in the backcourt. Davis, McKee, and Rose up front. It counts, and the foul.
Reggie Miller really asserting himself right now. He got himself going with the three-pointers. Now he sees the drive to the baseline, feels he had contact, so elevates right there. Not only gets the basket, gets the opportunity coming up to go to the foul line. On the baseline, Williams rotating over, but Reggie just gets it up over the top of Williams' hand before he can block the challenger.
Reggie 4 for 5 from the line, trying to tie it. The Bucks and Pacers at 83-31 for Reggie Miller. He's 12 for 21 from the field. 6.5 left in the fourth quarter. Robinson stripped. Best has Miller. Here's Miller, fouled by Cassell. And the question, as Reggie Miller was looking to Joe Crawford, looking for a flagrant.
No, Joe Crawford makes the right call here. Sam Cassell is not trying to hurt or take down Reggie. Right there, he just doesn't want him, holds him up. He doesn't want him to go crashing into the stanchion. He just doesn't want to have to take a real hard foul and knock him down, so he grabs him, give him the 2 free throws. Good call. Well, good no call if we want to look at it.
So Reggie Miller hearing it from the crowd. They're in the chance of Reggie shooting 2. Let's go to Cheryl.
Well, Marvin, Mike, this afternoon, Reggie got a welcome message from a very good friend. Charles Barkley called the PR department and wanted to leave this message for Reggie. He said, Reggie, do not let your team lose. And Reggie is giving it his all, guys, in the second half.
Well, obviously, Cheryl's still on speaking terms with Reggie after the little problem they had earlier. And Reggie Miller has given the Pacers a 2-point lead. He scored 10 of the last 12 for Indiana. Robinson stripped, recovered by Allen. 2-on-1. Miller pulls it up. Rebounded by Allen.
That's one of those opportunity situations. Reggie really wanted to drill that one. The crowd would have went off.
Cassell was fouled. Sam Cassell took the block. Hit by Best. Indiana with their 13th foul.
Because of outstanding defense by Derek McKee. And McKee is on Thomas right now, and that's the guy that George Karl has been trying to go to. He has kept the ball out of his hands. As a result, Robinson has wound up with it the last 2 times. Each time going to the basket, he's been stripped by the Indiana defender, and it's given Indiana an opportunity at the offensive end.
So the game is tied at 85. 5:45 remaining on the 4th.
There's your switch. Miller with the size advantage. They go double right away. Now you just have to pass the ball and find open shooters.
Miller with the shot clock running down goes Glass. Indiana by 2. 35 for Reggie Miller. Allen. Good play by McKee to alter that shot. Ray Allen right back to tie it at 87. 18 points for Allen.
Hustle play by Allen. First shot no good. The strength of Best that time gave him the advantage, forced the miss, but the hustle play by Allen got it back again.
Miller posting on Cassell, went down, and Miller hits again.
They are going to the same play each time, and there's no reason not to. If the play's working, you get what you want of it, you stay with it.
We're seeing vintage Reggie Miller. He scored 14 of the Pacers' last 18. Johnson with the rebound, puts on the floor, and draws the foul. Very unusual to see Urban Johnson try to take it to the basket, but he saw the opportunity. The foul was committed by Davis. Johnson just a 60% free throw shooter. Well, tomorrow night here on TNT, it's a doubleheader beginning 8 o'clock Eastern time as the playoff excitement continues. First game, Sonics and the Jazz in Game 5 of their series. That's a final game followed by a 5th and deciding game between the Sacramento Kings and the Los Angeles Lakers from LA. Bucks and Pacers tied at 89. 4.5 to go in the 4th. Best. And Travis Best continues to have his problems. 2 for 10 from the field.
First option was Best beating his man Cassell off the dribble. Reggie gave him about 7 or 8 seconds to see if he could do it. Then Reggie came over, set the screen, got the switch. Best just couldn't hit the jump shot.
Robinson was trying to post up. Good job by Rose fronting. Here's Allen. Nice play by Best to knock it away.
Best has done a very good job in the series of getting his hand in on Ray Allen, stripping the ball around the waist area as Allen tries to bring it up. But Allen is really quick on that first step off the dribble.
Timeout is taken by the Bucks. 4 minutes, 11 seconds to go in the 4th. The game tied at 89. this fifth and final game of this first round playoff series. We're going down to the final minutes. The Indiana Pacers, led by Reggie Miller, who has 37. That's 2 off his playoff career high in that magical night against the Knicks at the Garden. He scored 39.
Well, when he starts hitting his jump shots, it gets him going. Then he drives and gets fouled and has the opportunity and does convert the three-point play. And then leaning in, contact but no call, but still the conversion. I want to go back more to game number 3 when Miller scored 34 points. If you remember, scoring 34, he was just 4 for 15 from the three-point line. He said after that game, if I make my threes, I score 50 in this game.
It was back in '94 at the Garden when he had 25 in the fourth quarter, finished with 39 for the game. And Reggie has taken over. He has scored 14 of the Pacers' last 16 points. It's another classic Reggie Miller playoff performance. 4 remaining on the shot clock. 4:06 left in the fourth. Robinson beating Rose off the dribble.
Robinson was going so hard that time that he needed a little bit of touch on it. Instead, he bangs it so hard off the glass, he misses the chippy.
And Robinson is just 4 for 16 from the field. Rose posting on Robinson. Shot clock at 6. Rose coming up with the air ball. Pacers and Bucks tied at 89. Robinson had it knocked away by Rose. And the foul on Jalen Rose, that is his 3rd. Pacers are over the foul limit. So Glenn Robinson will shoot 2. He's 2 for 2 at the line. Robinson, an 80% foul shooter. The Bucks 19 for 22 at the line. Milwaukee has a 1-point lead.
Interestingly, up until that last shot, Indiana had gone to Best or Miller. Best or Miller. They put it in Rose's hands, come up with an air ball. Now right back to Travis Best. Hurries the jump shot from the outside. Best struggling right now, shooting the basketball. Just 2 for 11, Travis Best from the floor.
Cassell goes to work on Miller, gets the screen. Cassell, yes. Sam Cassell, who has been a big game player. You recall his heroics as a member of the Houston Rockets, a member of the 2 championship teams for the Rockets. His first year as a rookie. Best is open for 3. Davis on the rebound and a loose ball foul. It's against the Pacers with 2:46 to go in this fourth quarter. It will be Milwaukee ball, and now apparently the indication is that it was deflected out of bounds. No foul call.
Well, Travis Best has had wide open looks at the basket. He's 2 for 12 right now. And you say, well, where's Mark Jackson? Should they bring Jackson back? The difference is they want Best for his defense out there to stop the dribble penetration and hope that he can make one of these open looks that he's getting.
These are anxious moments for the number 1 seed Indiana Pacers at home, trailing the Bucks, trying to take the series in 5. A 3-point Milwaukee lead. Cassell. And an offensive foul. He was pushing out.
Yeah, you can see that. Excellent call that time. McKee switching on to Cassell. McKee, one of those rare athletes that can defend against a point guard, a 2 guard, a 3 guard, a power forward. Watch the right arm of Cassell right there. Push off McKee to clear space to get the jumper.
And for Sam Cassell, that is number 6. A major loss for the Bucks. 22 points, 6 assists, just 1 turnover.
Well, Thomas got what he wanted. He knows he has the size advantage, just wants to turn and shoot over the top of Miller.
Again, the matchup. Thomas defending on Miller. They clear it out. Reggie for 3. Yes! A playoff career high for Miller. Pacers up by 1. Here's Allen. Rebound Davis.
Ray Allen made a great move, elevated up over the top, had a wide open look at the front of the rim and just couldn't make the short shot.
1:10 to go in this fourth quarter. Miller working on hand, and it will be Milwaukee ball. Reggie lost the dribble. Under a minute remaining in the fourth. Sam Cassell is fouled out. Ray Allen operating as the point guard. Gets it to Tim Thomas. Oh, a huge shot by Thomas, and the Bucks lead by 1.
Yeah, and Derek McKee is upset because he had to go and stay with the ball a little bit longer than he wanted to. It never gave him a chance to recover to Tim Thomas.
Indiana has 3 timeouts and a 20. Milwaukee with 2. Bucks have a foul to give. 7 on the shot clock. Best. The tip by Davis. McKee trying to keep it alive. Last touch by the Bucks. 29 and 4/10 seconds remaining in this fourth quarter. And timeout is called by Indiana. The Bucks by 1. There's a 5-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. So when we come back, it will be Indiana ball, and they will have the full possession. Fifth and deciding game. Down to 29 and 4/10 seconds to go in the fourth. Milwaukee by 1. The Bucks do have a foul to give. It will be Indiana ball.
Let's look quick at a couple things they might do. One is to let Reggie Miller come up, set the screen after they get it in bounds, and have the point guard come off, roll Reggie into the post. The other, send Miller off a series of baseline screens. We know he likes to shoot from deep in the corner.
And Reggie Miller will inbound. It up immediately. Kept alive. Miller. Crowd is silent. Here's Best again. Yes! So the Pacers have taken the lead. Travis Best from downtown, from deep in the corner. Indiana by 2 with 16 and 5/10 seconds to go in the fourth.
Well, you talk about believing in yourself. This young man was 2 for 14 from the floor. I'm not sure that the inbounds play was drawn up for him to take it, but he took the first one, missed it, goes 2 for 14, and then finally hits his third field goal, the big one here from the corner.
Indiana on a 6-2 run since Sam Cassell fouled out. And the story for the Pacers, Reggie Miller, a playoff career high of 41, turning it on in the fourth quarter.
You've got Glenn Robinson just 4 for 16 from the floor right now. You've got Ray Allen 6 for 19, obviously under 33%. The guy that's doing it for you has been Tim Thomas, 8 for 16 from the floor up to this point. Vinny Del Negro, excellent shooter, inbounding the ball, so you have to pay attention to him after he inbounds it.
Vinny Del Negro, who just checked in, looking to throw in, gets it into Allen. The Bucks with the ball, down by 2, down to 10 seconds. Allen off the dribble. Allen with the shot. Johnson had the rebound knocked away, and we get a whistle. A foul against the Pacers, which will put Milwaukee at the line. Indiana over the limits, number 5 on Davis.
Allen turns the corner. The next defender, Davis, comes over, challenges. Allen tries to draw it by throwing the elbow, and it's there on the arm that Dale Davis is called for.
Urban Johnson, 4 for 4 from the line, only a 60% free throw shooter. 6 and 2/10 seconds remaining in the fourth. The Pacers maintaining a 2-point lead. George Karl talking to his players over at the sideline.
And George Karl's just told his team, miss this next free throw. That's what Glenn Robinson is telling his teammate up front. He wants him to miss it. You've got to block out. The guards on the outside have to block out. You've got to watch Tim Thomas flying in from the top of the circle. We'll see who has blockout responsibility. Miller on Thomas, Best on Robinson.
Milwaukee also has a timeout left. Let's see how Irvin Johnson plays it. Well, he hit it. So it's a one-point game. Now Miller for Best. Milwaukee can't find anybody to foul. Now the foul is given.
Reggie Miller had to be fouled immediately on the inbounds pass. Big thing, do not pass the ball back to the half-court line. Pass it forward. So if they do intercept it, they can't get the quick steal and shot.
There it is forward, and Rose is fouled, and now he will go to the line. The clock did not move. It still shows 1 4/10 seconds. And Jalen Rose will shoot 2. He's 4 for 4 from the line and a very fine free throw shooter. 83%. Pacers have a 1-point lead.
Well, they had reset the clock to 2 seconds when that play started, so that's where the 0.6 of a second was taken off.
So it's now back to 1.4. Jalen Rose now looking to hit. Or does he miss on purpose? You take a chance. Well, he missed, and Allen calls for time with 9/10 of a second remaining. And we'll stay right here. Bucks do not have any timeouts left. 1 1/10 second remaining. 5th and deciding game. The winner will go on to the second round to face the Philadelphia 76ers. Reggie Miller providing the room. Del Negro inbounding. Here's Allen. Can he get it off? He does. It is all over. In a hard-fought 5-game playoff series, the Indiana Pacers defeat the Milwaukee Bucks 96-95 to win the 5th and deciding game. Reggie Miller coming up with a spectacular performance. A playoff career high of 41 points.
A great series. Both teams so well prepared, so well coached. Both teams making big plays and big shots. Momentum swings in the entire series. And then Indiana coming back home here, that makes them 20-0 in bounce-back games against teams that they have lost to in the previous meeting. They have answered it 20 straight times with a win.
So it will be Indiana and Philadelphia with game 1 here at Conseco Fieldhouse of the best of 7 on Saturday afternoon on NBC. All right, let's go to Cheryl with Brother Reggie.
Reggie, I know you're absolutely exhausted. This has to be the toughest first-round playoff series that you've ever been in.
That we won, yes. Right now, you got to give Milwaukee all the credit in the world. We might have won the series, but they were the better team. They really outdicked us and outfought us for 5 games. We're fortunate to be moving on. George Karl really had his team prepared. I think experience won out tonight, but it shows what a younger team can do. But we had the heart and the determination, and our experience really rose to the occasion, which was great.
Reggie, in the second half, you came out of warm-ups wearing the Superman T-shirt, and you gave a superhuman performance in the second half, actually the whole game.
Well, I knew it was do or die. You know, I knew I was going to try to put up as many shots as possible, be aggressive, and shots were falling for me tonight. Travis and Mark and Jalen did a great job of setting me up and getting me great shots. But, man, we're lucky, Cheryl. We're very lucky right now.
Reggie, what do you take from this series headed into the second round against Philadelphia?
Well, A, our fans can be just as loud as everyone else that's still in the playoffs. And B, we got to protect our home court. We got to play much better and play like we played tonight with a sense of desperation. To tell you the truth, we were thinking that we could sweep Milwaukee or beat them in 4. And you can't do that in playoff basketball. We got to look at Philadelphia as a very dangerous team, which they are, and we got to protect our home court.
Reggie, congratulations. Great performance. Let's go back to Marv and Mike.
All right, thank you, Cheryl. Reggie averaged 32 points in the 3 Indiana win for 41 points is a new Pacer playoff high. And keep in mind, in last year's finale for the Pacers against the Knicks, Reggie only 3 of 18 for 8 points, 1 for 8 from downtown, so this one has to feel mighty good.
Obviously a tremendous game by Reggie Miller, but let's look at it from Milwaukee's side of things. Very similar to what happened the other night to Minnesota. All of a sudden they hit that point in the game where they couldn't make shots anymore, and Portland comes on to win it, and shooting 49% over the last 3 games, coming into this one, starting out well again. They wind up at 43% for the game. They shot 47 for the season as a team.
And now the Indiana Pacers go up against the Philadelphia 76ers. For what it's worth, they split the season series at 2-2, and it gets underway here in Indianapolis on Saturday afternoon.
Well, they won't see the same type of shooting team, but a better defensive unit in Philadelphia.
So again, the final score, the Pacers squeak it out 96-95 over the Bucks to take the series in 5. For Cheryl Miller, Mike Fratello, I'm Marv Albert.